After 20 years of building together through dust, deadlines, and damn good ideas, Pace and Adam invite you to join them for honest conversations about the home building world. Welcome to Build Connected, where experience meets insight, powered by Diamond Home Restoration.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Build Connected. I'm Pace.
And I'm Adam.
Oh, good to be back, Adam. We had a little Halloween. Did you get any trick-or-treaters at the house?
No, not in these woods, not in
Oh,
these
we had a
parts.
bunch. I think I probably, no, not a bunch, but like packs of like 8 kids at a time. Maybe 100 kids. So it's quite a bit, I guess.
That's fun. I mean, I'm up on a hill and the trees. They don't come up here. It's just about 2 blocks outside of the big trick-or-treating zone. So,
Yeah, we had roving packs of barbarians demanding candy. It was a fun night. Lots of big families, groups of kids, lots of candy. It was a good time. It was a good time.
you give out potatoes. I hear potatoes are in now. You put out a bowl of candy and put some potatoes in there, and kids are grabbing potatoes. I don't know, just this
No,
potato craze.
that's not happening here. We're jacking the kids up on sugar, just like
Okay.
in the old days.
Now, are you giving away whole candy bars or just the small ones? Are you like the fancy house with the big ass candy bars?
No, but we've got like the big sugar skull trays. And, we're giving the kids 2, 3 pieces. We're not being stingy.
Okay. All right.
Like, if the kids are nice, if they're like interacting, I'll say, take what you want, you know? But if they're giving me attitude,
You should do trivia like my friend Scott did, and they get to phone a friend, and if you get it right, get an extra piece of candy. Anyway, we go on and on about this.
that's a lot. All right. What are we talking about, Adam?
We're going to talk about a product that I have actually purchased and have yet to install because I was so intrigued by it. This is a product called MagVent Dryer Vent. So it's, look, you've fought with your dryer before, right? You got to take the dryer out because maybe you're fussing with something back there. Maybe you're cleaning behind the dryer and the vent comes unhooked somehow. And then you got to get your dryer vent hooked back up and you need space to work back there. So, the dryer duct itself has to be a certain length. This company invented this magnetic dryer duct mechanism. So imagine the duct that comes out of the wall has a giant, strong magnet that's mounted on the wall. And then you only need a short little piece of ducting that has the opposing end of the magnet attached to that. And as soon as you slide your dryer back in place, it automatically sucks that magnet vent to itself. So kind of a ingenious idea. This company has different flavors of venting choices depending on if you're offset from the location of that vent or if it's a direct connect right behind it. And, they claim it helps with the so-called dryer fires that could happen because you have less ducting back there that can accumulate less lint. Yeah, I think that, that combined with your dryer box, we install a lot of these dryer boxes in walls to help save space. But if you can take their contraption and line it directly up with your dryer duct vent, you can get up to like 1 inch of clearance behind the dryer. But that never happens, right? I mean, does your dryer vent ever line up perfectly with the one that's stubbed out of the wall? Not really. But if you can make that happen, you can make it a really tight gap. Anyway, cool stuff.
Yeah,
Let you
I
know when I
think
put
this
it
is
in.
a 1-2 punch. Like you said, the dryer box with the magnet, you can really tighten things up back there. I've used this magnet thing on my house.
Oh, you did?
Not with the dryer box, in wall box, but with I have a very small. I inherited a very small laundry room. And the way that the previous owner had it configured just did not work for me. So I changed the orientation of my washer dryer and I built a platform. And then my vent lives underneath that platform. And in order to connect it to the vent in the wall, it's really threading the needle. I feel like I kind of had to use that magnet so that it kind of would guide itself into position. Um, and I think the product is genius, right? It's a really strong magnet, and it just takes away that fumbling in a super tight space. But when you're starting fresh, right, and you have the ability to do an in-wall box, and in combination with this magnet, you're getting the best of both worlds, and you're really bringing that dryer unit nice and tight to the wall. It's just perfect. And the alternative to me, which we've done a lot over the years, is kind of building out that dead space behind the dryer with some sort of a shelving set up above the units where you can put your detergent and dryer sheets, making the most of like what's an awkward space, right, to use for very utilitarian items above. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
I love this product.
Yeah, it's cool. If you're doing new construction, you might as well just solve for the dryer you're going to put out there. And now we can line them up perfectly and get that really tight gap behind there. But I think their website is magventdryervent.com or something like that. But I think you can buy their stuff on Amazon. But I would go to their website. I've been on there and they have some great videos on, the different various products that they offer and how to install some of them if you're going to do it yourself. But yeah, great stuff.
Yet another reason to watch the YouTube video, because as you're stumbling for the name, I've already put it up on the screen. There's photos of the unit. Like it's all there for the people. Tune in, check out the video. It's fun. This week I was thinking about talking about insurance, like a favorite subject for everybody. I could not have imagined 30 years ago um how things would change. I mean, like I'm gonna try to. This is gonna be just an intro conversation about what's happening with insurance.
I'm getting
Maybe the
angry already. You're getting my
Yeah,
blood
you'll
boiling.
get your time. You sit there, you settle down.
Urgh.
So we're gonna talk about like how that interacts with maybe climate change as well as like building practices. I remember many years ago doing we were working in San Francisco doing sprinkler systems, and there would be a rebate on your insurance if you had a sprinkler system just because it reduced the risk of fire so much. I remember alarm systems, right? How alarm systems would trigger a rebate on your insurance just because of that added safety and the reduced break in, if you will. And then I also remember the addition of like seismic upgrades and how that would impact your insurance. It feels like today, especially in California and Florida, it's been interesting, especially with these larger storms. Regions are finding that they're underinsured. They were, valuations were way off. And so there's been this reset occurring in the insurance world. And I know before I continue, I know you've had a lot of experience with this, whether it's at your house or in Tahoe. Maybe speak a little bit about like getting dropped and all
I mean,
and the realities on
w
the ground.
well, I'll tell you what, our insurance dropped us, like many people in the area that we're in. I live here in Marin County, um, and the insurance companies don't have the ability to raise their rates to the level where they want them to be. So what they have slowly been doing is completely dropping their clients. And I didn't see it coming. I mean, we have a place up in Tahoe and it's very frequent up there where people are getting dropped, but I didn't think it was going to happen to me here. And it happened. Um, and it's a killer. My only option was to go with the California Fair Plan. And the California Fair Plan is, I think it's almost quadruple what I was paying before. And it's only a portion of it. I have to get another insurance company to insure the actual things that I have inside of the house if there were a fire. So California Fair Plan doesn't insure everything. It's just partial. I mean, it covers the majority of it, but I mean, I think I went from paying something like $1,500 a year to $8,500 a year, and it's a killer. Like, I'm like, how am I gonna make this happen? You know, we got to scramble to make a such an exorbitant bill, make that happen every year, and it sucks. And you know, it makes me angry, and everybody in this area is going through the same thing as I am. So, I mean, I'm not alone. But the question is, what's going to happen next? And you know, there's talk of maybe these insurance companies, after they completely get out of California, they will come back to California and they'll be able to refresh their rates at a higher level than what they originally had us at. But it'll still be a hell of a lot less than what we're paying for the California Fair Plan.
That's right. I mean, that is what will happen, and I think that to the point I'm trying to make, there's a relationship to how your building is constructed that will help you in the future. Like, so as companies move back to reinsure, you know, with higher rates slash valuations, in a different risk analysis, they're going to be a lot more itemized in how they assess your house. So in the past, right, we've talked a lot about fire resistant decking or different fire resistant building materials. Each one of those boxes you check will help keep your insurance rates down. So that hardening that you're doing, that we're doing with our build, it will have a relationship with your insurance rates moving forward, much more than it ever did in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, 5 years ago, I mean, we thought about fire, right? But in terms of what I do to my house, every single thing I do to my house, I'm thinking about fire. What can I do to mitigate it? What can I do to help with insurance if that comes up? It's part of everything I think about whatever I touch on my house, and I think that's the direction a lot of homeowners are going in. You know, we've talked about, you know, different kinds of products, like you said, decking. It's you know, fire resistant decking. Um, you know, this fire point made by Arkland with this plywood sheathing that's for fire. Everything we do, and we really need to take that in consideration. I mean, if I were building a brand new house, shit, I would build it out of concrete. But I don't have that luxury.
It'll be interesting moving forward, and I think we'll revisit this episode as things unfold in California, in real time, because, you know, as California goes, so goes the nation. And I think, you know, we've had such an interest from a lot of the people we work with on joining us on the podcast. I think our insurance guy, he's going to make an appearance, and we can talk about what he's hearing inside the industry. I think that'll be really informative to people, and you know, he's fun to talk to anyway.
No doubt. Yeah, we got to get Gino on.
Yeah, no doubt. Gino will be here. All right, let's talk about something fun going on. What do you got?
Yeah, you know, Pace and I have talked in the past on our podcast here about our pre-construction process, and we had a meeting this week with a potential client that is in the very early stages of their project. And by early, I mean it's just conceptual. And pen hasn't even hit the paper. And that is a beautiful thing for many reasons. You know, we talk about the cart being ahead of the horse, and people kind of going down that road of paying for plans and permits and then going to multiple bids and it being over their budget and no longer being able to afford the project and either having to pull the pin or completely starting over. But it's refreshing when we have the ability to come in early and have these early talks and set them on the right path. And I think it was refreshing for all of us. I was like relieved and happy for the client, you know, because I know that they are starting this process at the right time, talking to the right people. I mean, not to, regardless of whether it's us or somebody else that does the work, they're getting in front of contractors and bringing that person on board early on. So yeah, it was it's nice to have that approach happen in the early phase.
Yeah, we'll be there to give our input on the direction of things, but more important than anything, it's that real time pricing, of various options as they're discussed, right? Putting numbers to design ideas and allowing homeowners to make informed decisions, right? That's what we want to do. And everything is right on track. And so this is one that in the coming, say, 6 months, we'll check in. We'll see how the process goes. We'll follow this one in real time. And it's going to be, if we become the contractor on this project, it'll be a really fun build for us.
No doubt.
All right. Anything? So we're going full natural. We're growing the hair out. We're going gray. We're embracing the older age. That's like I'm Mr. Heat Miser. I'm Mr. 10 Below sort of look you got going.
Yeah,
Christmas is coming up.
I don't know where this is going. It just kind of took on a life of its own.
You're going to need a bigger camera because pretty soon that hair is going to be outside of the screen. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's very froey. It's very gray. Yeah, that's I mean, the good thing is, as I get older, I can't see as well, so I'm looking at myself in the screen, and it's blurry. So maybe that's a good thing.
That's the balance of life right there. Well said. All right. Well, for another great episode, I'm Pace.
And I'm Adam.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Build Connected. For more stories, insights, and ideas, visit diamondhomerestoration.com or find us on Instagram and LinkedIn. We'll be back next week. We hope you will too.